Welcome back to another episode on the MLD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Hawks. Alright, so like I said, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Hawks and what's their future looking like, bro, because it's looking kind of murky, man. Atlanta Hawks fans, y'all let me know, what do y'all think? Because I think Trae Young is staying. That's something that a lot of people always put into rumors out there. I just uploaded a video yesterday on the star players who I think are most likely to get moved. I kept Trae Young on the Atlanta Hawks. I think this is a team that is building around Trae Young, believe it or not. They want to add wings around him, similar to like the Kings when they had that year where they made the playoffs. When you have a small point guard, putting wings around him is something that is very ideal. And they have Dyson Daniels, Zachary Richardson, Jalen Johnson, who's to me became a low end all star caliber player. And Trae Young is out there looking like Steve Nash. Like you have Steve Nash, a light Amari Stoudemire, and you put some wings who could shoot around that and see what they could bring you. I think the problem with the Atlanta Hawks and the mistake that they made is not drafting Donovan Clingan. I think that was the biggest mistake, and they've already made it, so it's too late. But if they would have drafted Donovan Clingan and kept DeAndre Hunter at small forward, they would have had a lineup with Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, DeAndre Hunter, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, and Donovan Clingan, and they would have been able to trade Clint Capella and get a wing out of him. I think they would have been able to keep the same model of all the super wings next to Trae Young and have defense with Donovan Clingan. But they went the Richardson route instead. And Richardson is a great defender. Like on defense, he has been an absolute monster on that side of the ball. Going into the draft, I did think Richardson was a better defender than he was an offensive player, and it's showing immediately. He's very raw offensively. He can shoot the ball, but this year so far, he hasn't been that good of a shooter. And on a team with Trae Young, that means he's just not knocking down his shots. Trae Young, he be generating like 20 to 25 assist opportunities every game. And people don't realize how hard that is. And he's asked to shoot efficiently by fans, but no, that's just not something that's reasonable. The fact that Trae Young could be this little and the Atlanta Hawks can manage to have a defense that's a top 15, that shows that like, this defense is capable enough with Trae Young and what he provides as a playmaker for these guys who are playing on defense is just too valuable. I think Trae Young is one of the most overhated players in the league. It's just the way that he acts and the shot selection that sometimes you watching Trae Young and you just see him pull from half. Like, why did you do that? But dude, he does it to keep the defense on his toes. Like Trae Young is one of those guys who does everything on the offensive side for a reason. Defensively, yeah, he's Trae Young. He's gonna get picked on. That's just what it is. But that's why the Atlanta Hawks are getting all these defenders. Like the fact that the Atlanta Hawks aren't getting people that threat Trae Young's opportunities with having the ball in his hands shows me that he's a part of the plan. Until they get somebody whose plan is to get the ball out of Trae Young's hands, I won't question Trae Young on the Hawks. I think Trae Young is going to surprisingly be the for lifer. The next generation, that's what I should make a video on. Who is most likely to be a for lifer? Trae Young, he might be a for lifer. I think that he's happy being in Atlanta. Atlanta has shown that they're willing to move on from coaches instead of moving on from Trae. Trae Young has shown that he's going to consistently play at an all NBA level and not even make all-star games. So you're gonna get him for cheaper than he should be just because he's small and people just hate on him because of his shot selection. And hey, You loaded, you lock and loaded. DeJounte Murray is somebody when they traded for him, they wanted exactly what Dyson Daniels is doing. They wanted a all NBA defender who could play point guard when Trey Young's on the bench. And that's exactly what Dyson Daniels has became and has been for the Atlanta Hawks. I think Dyson Daniels probably could be the most improved player this year, and he could be defensive player of the year this year. He's top 5 in both of those awards for sure. He's top 5 in DPOY. He's top 5 in most improved. And that just shows you what Dyson has been next to Trey Young. And oh man, offensively, Trey Young has unlocked him. And defensively, Trey Young has needed Dyson so much to where, dude, he is breaking number of records consistently with the steals, man. Dyson is having 5 steal games consistently. He's on pace to break the steal records this year. So like, shout out to Dyson. I think if the Atlanta Hawks were a team that had a Donovan Clingan this year and he was doing what he's doing right now, they would have been legitimately in defensive player of the year race. You know, because Donovan Clingan would have been holding the paint down a little more than Clint Capella. Dyson would have been a menace even more because of that. Holy, this team has potential, and they still do with Ricochet. I still like Ricochet and Dyson together for the foreseeable future. They're going to complement Trey Young very well alongside their star player in Jalen Johnson. And now they're on the search for a center. Whoever that center is going to be, he needs to be like Donovan Clingan, Clint Capella, or it could be some guy who could just, it can't be a guy like Joel Embiid. That's basically what I'm saying. Stay away from Joel Embiid, Atlanta. They clear some cap space with the DeJounte trade. They're gonna be able to pay Jalen Johnson without no hesitation. But to me, I think this is a team that just they need to wait for the next best center that's available, the next tall star player. Honestly, you could move on from Ricochet if you have to, or maybe a Johnson if you're scared of his injuries and a team wants to offer you a superstar center. I don't know who that superstar center is going to be, though, the way I'm talking, because, I mean, if you could get your hands on a Bam Adebayo, you do it, because that team, this Atlanta Hawks team with like a Bam Adebayo would be so nasty. Who else, though? You trade for I don't know, Nicholas Claxton. This is a team that you could go ahead and trade for Nicholas Claxton, but you'd want to keep your core pieces while doing that for sure. You know, Jakob Poeltl, but would that Raptors want to do that? I doubt it. This is a team that y'all just need a run and dunk center. Like y'all are that close. You need a run and dunk center. Clint Capella's losing his juice. Rudy Gobert, if you want to overpay for that position, but I don't think that's needed. But Yves Messi would have been a nice guy for the Atlanta Hawks, but I just think that's what the Atlanta Hawks need. People are talking about blowing it up, trading Trey Young. Oh my God, where could he go? I think he's happy in Atlanta. And Atlanta it seems like they're clearly building around him, y'all. They're getting defenders who can shoot, and they're getting guys who can't dribble. You know why? So they can build around Trey Young. And Atlanta, y'all seem like y'all trust Trey Young, and some fans don't understand. Teams don't need to win a championship every year. Sometimes you need to just build. And Trey Young would be the one to have to request a trade if he's tired of it. Because if Trey Young's tired of it, I get it. I get it. But he seems like he's having fun out there. He's making the All-Star game, even though he keeps being because of reserve. But he keeps on having these teams that aren't that talented in the middle of the pack, you know? The Atlanta Hawks, I don't think they've ever had an all-star next to Trey Young. Has Trey Young ever been in an all-star game with somebody? And it's not like he's a problem. People want to say that, but no, Trey Young is a great shooter, creates opportunities for his teammates. And on the offensive side, we haven't seen a problem with him to the point where like he's the thing that was holding DeJounte Murray back. If anything, DeJounte Murray was holding him back, you know? Where has DeJounte Murray gone and won for us to say that Trey Young is a problem over there, you know? But yeah, people come to Atlanta and consistently have some of their greatest years. And DeJounte Murray, when he's places, he seems to put up stats. Like who's the empty stats guy? Matter of fact, hold on. Shout out to DeJounte Murray, prayers up for you. Amen. May God bless you. He had a gruesome injury this year, so I don't want to like put the Pelicans season on him, but I'm just saying like DeJounte Murray is not the defender that people think that he was because he was playing next to Derek White on the Spurs, and people didn't think Derek White was the defender that he was. And he's a great player, but hey, hope he can get healthy and next year show us what he could be for the Pelicans with Zion, Cooper Flag, because they might end up with pick one. But shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. Don't believe they have their draft pick this year, which is cool. I think they need to just trade for a star center. They're gonna have cap space. They're gonna have an obvious need. This is a team. You go get Miles Turner. Holy. You got Trae Young, Dyson, Reese Ashe, Jalen Johnson, and Miles Turner. That defense would be nice. Miles Turner is another guy who I do think is somewhat overrated defensively. But if you have him next to those three guys, he could be a nice piece defensively. And Trae Young and Halliburton on the offensive side kind of similar. So, like, he's going to get his looks. So, yeah, Miles Turner, somebody I would love if the Hawks. And Naz Reid is somebody who he would be sneaky, a nice pickup. Oh, man, Naz Reid at starting center. We'll see if he can hold it down there, but you'd have a lineup of just wings. The problem is that could be a problem. A lineup of just wings. You would need to also add a center. If you got Naz Reid, I would like him to play power forward and center. I wouldn't want him to just be center. But yeah, Atlanta Hawks, this is a team that I think is, once again, somebody who everybody sees them, but everybody doesn't care about them. I think this is a team that's a year away from being a year away. So yeah, Atlanta Hawks, man. Y'all need that big man, and I hope y'all find it because y'all would become a scary team. I think Trae Young is at that point where I want to see him with a star player. I want to see him with a I don't know, that's the thing about it. I want him with a star defensive center. I want him with Evan Mobley. I want him with Jared Allen. I want him with that and these wings. Literally, just get him a star center, and you can find that in the draft. You could get a moderately good center and make him better because you have Trae Young in chemistry. You just need a new athletic rim runner. You can get a Derek Lively and make him into a top 100 player because you got Luka Doncic. You DeAndre Jordan. That's what the Atlanta Hawks need. Atlanta Hawks have Chris Paul, Steve Nash. They need to give him DeAndre Jordan. Yeah. Shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. I think, like I said plenty of times this video, y'all chilling, y'all all right. Y'all one piece away from being a complete roster. Clint Capella is kind of what that used to be. He used to be Dwight. He used to be the Walmart version of that, but they never got the Gucci one. Go get you Chanel, Gucci headband, Gucci Milio, Gucci. I might kiss that Gucci. Yeah, man. Shout out everybody for tuning in to another episode of the MLD Balls page. Atlanta Hawks fans, hold on. Before I end off the video, where would the trade landing spots be? Because you got the Miami Heat, who would love to have somebody like Trae Young, but I'm not giving up Tyler Hero in a Trae Young deal. I'll give up everything else, though. We need Tyler and we need Bam. We need Khalil. And after that, you could have Trae Young. You have a lineup of Trae, Hero, Bam, Khalil Ware. Holy, that's nice. That's nice. You get the Wolves. They could have Trae Young, Anthony Edwards. Trae Young could go out and be that playmaker that they're missing out on. Maybe Anthony Edwards hits up Trae Young and say, "Hey, come to Georgia," or come to Georgia. Hey, come to Minnesota. You know what I mean? Or maybe Trae Young hits up Anthony Edwards and says, "Come to Georgia for real." Yeah, that's why I said that. Yeah, man, maybe that's what it is. But dude, Atlanta Hawks, I think this is a team. That's the exact reason they should just keep Trae Young. Imagine this is a team that have Trae Young, Anthony Edwards, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson. That's scary. Just like that. Favorites almost. If they get him a nice center, it just depends on who they got at center. They got to figure out the center spot. I think they missed out on that drafting Donovan Glenn. I'm gonna say that again. I think that was an obvious pick. You have a Rudy Gobert type prospect, and we all laugh about how Trae Young only throws lobs and how he's not that good of a playmaker. Like that's what the haters say. You know what I mean? I don't say it, but the haters say Trae Young could only get assists on lobs. So like, why not go get him the best lob threat in the draft, who's a defensive player of the year? You know what I mean? Like, makes no sense. But Risa Shea, it also does make sense because he is like a Paul George, like, and if you could put Paul George next to Trae Young, that's a great fit also. But, best player type of thing. And yeah, I think Clinton was the best player. I'm sorry, Atlanta Hawks fans, that I keep saying that. I think y'all should have drafted Clinton at pick 1. But the fact that y'all even had pick 1 was a blessing. You know what I mean? The fact y'all even had pick 1 was a blessing. So getting Risa Shea out of that was cool. Great defender. And yeah, y'all gonna find another way at center. And yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a nice day and God bless.